right. Hello to everybody tuning in and watching live, or if you're watching a replay. Thank you very much. This is the market analysis for October 24th. As we're moving through this great reset, we like to look for opportunities where we can prosper, especially as like we talked about yesterday, the time-backed commodities are being transferred over to data-backed commodities. And so we're watching it play out. We're watching it unfold here live every morning. I'm going to start off with some
sharing your screen.
There we go. And let's go so low. There we go. Ooh, this is nice. I'm a little bit further away from the screen than I normally am. And so I can make it a little bit bigger and bring my little caricature over to the side more. More green numbers today than yesterday. Yesterday there were only 2 on the watch list that had green. So this time around we've got some more green on the board. With silver, that dip that we had was beautiful. Nice retracement. After this movement here, in fact, we can see whether or not, because the old extension definitely came to fruition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this little tool here to the bottom of this pulse, and then this side to the top, so that we can get an idea of what kind of retracement we had. So this retracement from 0 to 100% of this movement, this bullish movement, has had a retracement, and it has dropped below the 786 level. And so that's a Fibonacci level that is sufficient of a retracement for us to have support. Now, this came down and tested basically the same support that it was yesterday, that we had a couple days ago. When we look at this here, we can see this point right here. These are all 15-minute bars now. So this little retracement here, yeah, this is just done retracing. Oh, this is what I'm looking for. This retracement here, little short one, and then it came back up to form this high. It's retraced back down to that level, and so that 33.4 level is definitely providing support for silver right now. We'll see whether or not we deepen this retracement. Many times we do see, especially after a big movement like this faster moving line usually gets a little bit closer to the slower moving line. So we'll see whether or not we get more of a retracement to have that support off of this slow moving average. That's 50 bars. So every 50 bars, it calculates the average of 50 bars and then plots that line. This retracement would be nice to see a retracement off of this line before buying, just because then you've got strong support for the long term. Again, because of the timing that we're in right now, you're getting silver on sale. Anything under $100 is on sale for silver. But those retracements are nice. I like to see those nice deep retracements. So, to see this retest that 50 average would be very nice. We can see that we've been, the price action has hovered around that for quite a bit. And so, yeah, it's just been a while since we've seen it touch. And so I would like to see that price come back down, grab that support, and then form a new high, especially with these new highs here. Like here, these weren't new highs. This is, but then the price didn't actually retest that 50. So with the new high, I'd like to see that retest, and then we have a better idea of how much longer it's going to go. Gold. Well, gold, definitely took a very, very short retracement yesterday, And since yesterday, it has been climbing back up again. In fact, take a look at the 15-minute chart. We can see where it dropped yesterday. And then ever since then, it's been climbing back up. So that retracement might be all we get. Looking at the 4-hour chart here, let's just see if we've got, yeah. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we definitely had a deep retracement. Went deeper than the last one. This new high, deeper retracement, and that might be all there is. And then now we're headed back up for another new high. Look at this movement. Look at this. 5% across 13 days. You'd be lucky to get this in a month trading gold. That's incredible. S&P 500 retracement yesterday. Nice deep retracement. Actually went into the pivot zone there and has been bounced back ever since. So showing support at 57.68 right now. We'll see where that heads next. Probably new highs, especially that's a very brief test there. Not a very deep retracement, so it might not go above, but we'll see. This is fascinating to me because this is where we're at. This movement here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and remove this and just put it here like so. So we can see where that retracement came down and actually almost touched the 34%, the 34 level, 38.2 rather. So yeah, nice deep retracement, probably headed up towards the next target, which I would say is the 6,000 mark. Yeah, that's going to show us the next level of resistance for sure. US 30, bigger, nice deep retracement. Similar to what we saw with the S&P 500, except it's not coming back quite yet. So in 8 minutes, we'll see what kind of movement we get when the market opens up and as the orders come in. If we remember to come back for that time. But yeah, you can just see ever since last night or yesterday at 2:30 or so, it's just been going sideways ever since. So waiting for those orders to come in. Thursdays are not typically days where crashes occur. It's usually Tuesdays and Fridays. Those are the days that seem to get picked the most. So we'll be keep an eye on that for sure. In Japan markets, yeah, it's not showing much support here right now. In fact, this resistance was too much for it. It's now dipping down, tempting the next level. Yeah, tempting the next level already. Not with a lower low yet. Once the low goes below this one, then that's when we can expect to test the 36.7 and then 35 below that. NPC having a very good day so far today. Since the open, it's up 13%. It's still not reached the all-time high that we reached on October 12th, but not to be discouraged. This is actually, out of all of the memes, probably the healthiest chart that I've seen, simply because we have these what are called bottoms. These bottoms here being 3 of them on the same level at 1.2 cents. That shows strong support and will likely be moving upwards from here on out. Sundog definitely pressing up against that support. It's dipped down yesterday. It's showing a little bit of strength today. We'll see where it ends up, but at 20 cents, it's still a good still good prospects on this. This motion here from 2, it definitely 10x'd itself here, but this motion that we saw, this is just it starting out. And this could very well come back down and even test 5-6 cents, at which point I'll be adding to the bag. I don't have a reason to believe that this will tank or that this project will be gone. Just keep watching. It's a meme though, so use it as an option. Don't go to it and think, oh yeah, I'm gonna make tons of money. Memes are hit and miss. bonk, same idea. It's still lots of resistance here coming from this level. This, yeah, this, well, that's too. Let's find a different coin we could use to, maybe ADA. No, it's still lots. Okay, so it's just the way it is. Lots of decimal points. It looks like 5 twos, or was that 4 twos? Or 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 zeros. 2
Yeah,
on the
4.
5th decimal point. Yeah. So right now, it's still showing some resistance at this point, but on the higher side of this wedge, that makes it a good a good sign. This high here beating out this high shows us that, and then these lows not beating out these ones shows that we've got the strength necessary, probably forming a miniature wedge inside this wedge right here. You can see that. So with that miniature wedge coming into play, we can expect this to break out here pretty soon. Woo. I saw a guy yesterday say that he was selling it because he was disappointed, and I'm like, dude, it's following an upward trend. Even if you don't make millions next week, you have a trend it's following, going up. Why are you selling? Oh, anyway, that's fine. If I would have wanted some more, I would have bought some more. I probably could have, actually, considering it definitely dipped further down into this pivot zone that we were talking about yesterday. It was still fairly high up in that yesterday, but now it definitely came down, went past the halfway point, and is now starting to rally its way back up 2.72% today. ARK showing some more losses as we are headed towards finding support. We are right now at a point 1.69 cents. This point has shown great support in the past. I don't believe, yeah, there was even that pivot point back closer to the time that it got started. I'm not too discouraged by this, folks. Again, this high beating out these highs here is great. This low still hasn't beat out this low, so we aren't showing confirmation of a bearish trend yet. And based on the timing of this, again, I would say, like, if you have some liquidity, I would throw it in here, because even from the time that I purchased on October 12th, that price has actually dropped. That price has dropped for 22% in the last 12 days. That means it's time to buy. And I didn't end up buying yesterday. I was feeling weird after breakfast yesterday. I didn't feel like going back to the computer. So yeah, I didn't get any, but that's okay, because it looks like it's even more on sale than it was yesterday. Tau, BitTensor. Yeah, it retraced back down. It didn't even quite go back into the next pivot zone. So that's a new low being formed right now. We'll see tomorrow what the confirmation is on that. But if that low is confirmed tomorrow, we are likely headed to the next level at 784. That would be a nice little increase even from this point here. That's a 40% rise, even such a small distance on the chart. On the chart. So you might not be able to get a whole coin. Some people might be able to get multiple coins, but this is definitely a more expensive asset at 500. What is it right now? 553 per coin. Just be mindful of that as you're moving forward. You have to budget differently when it's like, well, I shouldn't say it that. Money management has a different psychological effect on traders when the coins are, or shares, for example, like Tesla shares when they were at 1,000. It was like a different mentality people had in trading it. So the same kind of thing can occur here, but from where we are right now at 550 to that point is a 41% rise up to the all-time high. So don't be shy. If this is something that's calling out to you, it's a strong asset. This M pattern here is just gorgeous to see. This low, high, low here, and then a high here meeting that one. And then this low, this third low, not going as low as this one, is just showing that we've got that support necessary for movement. Same idea here. This low that we just experienced yesterday, tomorrow we'll see what the candle brings us. If this is a confirmed low, definitely it's time to shoot for this target up here. Injective token. That high that we got the other day, not beating out the previous high, that could indicate that we'll be testing the long-term trend line here one more time. These lows here, though, would need to be beat before we actually look for that rebound off of this off of the trend line. So we'll be watching this as the time goes on. With this retracement down inside this pivot zone right now, it's definitely in the realm of accumulating some more price or accumulating some more of the asset. Now, that being said, on September 7th, I bought at this almost at the low. You know, I was really close. Where is my? Oh, I was on the wrong thing. So I bought within 15% of the low. Wow. So yeah, I'm good there. I don't need to add more to my position. This retracement into this pivot zone is healthy. It's nothing to be alarmed at. In fact, again, we kind of have a wedge occurring again, but this one's a really miniature short-term one. You can see how it's like that and like that. So that little mini wedge might be where the price action stays here until it breaks out. We'll see. Desync. This wedge is still, look at that. It's just moving right along. Sideways with some movements, definitely. These longer movements are kind of fun because you can grab, sometimes you can catch those low prices, you can grab them and then just make a quick, look at that, 44% in a matter of 7 days. You know, yeah, man, that's good. Put $1,000 in and you make $400 in 7 days. That's called passive income. I shouldn't say that. It's called leveraged income. But it can definitely be passive for you, where you're not having to necessarily look at the computer for 8 hours a day. You can just tune in with us on live market analysis and grab these opportunities. But yeah, this one here definitely is in this zone. Yeah, in this pivot zone right now, fairly deep. Good position to buy if you wanted. I do have 3 positions on this particular asset, so I won't be adding more to my bag on this one because I've got 3 good positions that are even like within reasonable distance of these lows. So yeah, I'm good there. We'll just wait for this energy to continue to build up as it narrows to this point. You know, it might even break out as early as, you know, the end of November. But this can be expected to provide resistance, and this line here can be expected to provide support. 0 by 0, speaking of which, is following this trend line here, the upper side of this bearish trend line. And this is very typical. You know, it showed resistance going through this area here. And now at this point, after this high was formed, it's just following along that point. We are now in this deep retracement here with this pivot zone. I do have a position on this one from September 7th, very close to the bottom. So I'm not going to be adding, but look, you can see how that price has retested that same area that I traded. So we could still see this follow along. I would say that when this price action, as it follows this bearish trend line, when it gets to this 9.8 cent level, which is the bottom range of this pivot zone, that will provide the support it needs to come back and revitalize life going back up. Now, again, I am not too concerned with this asset at all, even with the downtrend, simply because of the timing, how things are coming into utility here. The AI bubble is upon us. And so this is primarily where we're going to be capturing a lot of the wealth over the next 3 to 6 months. And so before it pops. And that's, again, tune in. Make sure you come and tune in with us live every morning so that you know when that pop happens and you can profit before you lose everything, because that will happen. That will definitely happen. 3 protocol. This is just beautifully testing this support at 7.1 cents or 7 cents or so. Yeah, and this little mini zone here is probably just going to be a consolidation zone, not so much a pivot zone, simply because it looks to me like to be the bottom price. With this high that we had on September 29th, very encouraging to see. We are expecting a lot of accumulation in this price zone to gain that support needed to come back to its its all-time high of 46 cents. So nice growth potential here. You know, where RR right now, it's 7.5 cents US. And so when it comes back to the full-time or the all-time high, that'll be a 507% increase. So a nice little asset to grab there. Link AI, I do not have anything in this, but I've been tracking this one for a while. An M pattern following a very gradual, consistent bullish trend line. You know, these highs here are just different ways that the market tests its capacities. And you know, this being inside this zone on top of this line, we can expect some nice support here coming in the next week or so. I would expect we'll see some resistance at 18 cents and then again at the all-time high of 28. But you know, talk in the town is that this should be once it's in its momentum phase, that it should be at $1. So that's a nice little growth. DEAI or Zero Labs, 01 Labs. Again, for privacy, focusing on privacy for AI, we can see that all-time high was formed on October 14th and has been bouncing back and forth, even consolidating. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we'll probably see a descending wedge, or a wedge rather. Yep. So I see a wedge pattern forming here and here. So with this wedge pattern, we'll probably continue to see the price action, you know, get tighter before a breakout. I personally would like to see a test come down into this pivot zone. That's where I would actually line up to make a purchase. Yeah, I would if it comes back down into this pivot zone, that to me is a good indication that it's on sale just for me. It's like the universe does that. It's just like sends the price down into a pivot zone and says, "Here, Paul. Here's an opportunity to make some more money." FAR, video gaming token. This one here, I've been watching this one for a while, and again, I like to snipe the bottoms of these charts. It just makes me feel so good knowing that this kind of potential exists. Since that purchase that I made, the price has been, you know, basically dribbling like a basketball, ever so slowly. Ever so what do they call it? Softly, but getting faster. And so we, yeah, I expect one more test to dip below this pivot zone, possibly even tempt the level at 6.7 cents. If it comes down to here, I'll add to the bag so I can get back that 17% when it comes back up. And also, of course, you know, that adds to the overall exponential growth that we can see. You know, if we scale this up, the all-time high is 20.9 cents. So that's a 2,300% growth from the price point that I got it at. I'd be good with that. TRX, oh, let's go back to the daily chart. TRX, excuse me, long yawn. TRX showing its consistency. In fact, I know before I used to have this drawn with just the one line down the middle. I can do that again because it's literally still just going right down. It's right now on the middle. And I'll just change the color of this so that it's not nearly as confusing. There we go. So there you have it. TRX just is right now following the center of that channel. Remember, folks, I am on a logarithmic scale on my chart, and so these are actually exponentially curving lines. We see them as straight lines because of the way that the chart scales its way upwards. But yes, this is just an incredibly consistent chart. You know, it's been holding its own while a lot of coins see way more volatility, way more bearish trend, while Tron has been remaining strong in the bearish trend. And still going strong, hanging out at that middle of the channel. So we'll be, man, this is nice. Like, some of these movements are nice. 40% between the top and the bottom of this channel. That means that if it comes back down and retests this, I'll definitely make a purchase, because I would like to see that. That kind of growth. You know, that can happen in a very short period of time. Matter of, yeah, this is 2 weeks. Solana has been rallying here this week quite well, but still, over in the long term, we can see that we're still ranging between two major price points. You know, we got this resistance at 187, and then we've got support at about 125, and it's been bouncing back and forth between the two. No indication of an upwards trend yet, except by volume. The volume on Solana has gone up. I don't show the volume here because I don't actually trust TradingView's volume. If you wanted to know, to watch the volume, it's actually good to go to the market cap. So I'm just going to pull that chart up right now. It's Solana. And you can see the first one to come up is the market cap. So we grab that, and we can see that that volume has been coming up. So with the volume now at 82 billion, there's $82 billion in Solana right now. With that much market cap and the rising of the market cap, we can expect that even this volume level here, 75 billion, will become support. So with this accumulated volume that's occurring, it is a positive thing. So I do expect Solana to maintain this kind of movement as it heads up toward the all-time high at 250, was it 260? 262, 261, somewhere in there. XRP at the lower end of the channel there. This is logarithmic as well. So that is something to consider with this trend. These big, huge movements, these are nice to catch as well. I usually like to catch them at the bottom going up. Going from the top down, you're going to need to be doing some leverage trading in order to really maximize these. When they happen, it's kind of late to get in, right? But when they happen like this with leverage trading, you can make a sale. You can put an order to short this, and by shorting it, you can cash out on this difference here. Again, I don't do leverage trading in cryptos. I like to keep everything as non-custodial as possible. So I'm watching for dips. Whenever I see a big dip, it's like, oh, I know it's going to come back, at least come back to the average, you know. And when that occurs, like here, when it happened July 6th, you know, someone could have just grabbed it at, you know, somewhere in the low, even if it's not at the very lowest low, and then ride that back to the top for 50% growth across 16 days. That's what I'm looking for with charts like this. So the next one, you know, this would be not bad. You can ride this one up to the top side of that channel for a quick 29%. But I'm more for sniping these long movements here, because then, typically speaking, you're going to see a lot more return in a shorter period of time. Audic, good old Polygon, big dip yesterday, retesting the all-time low back here at 34. Is that an all-time low? Probably not an all-time low. Yeah, not an all-time low, but this low, 34 cents, got retested here. Great time to be purchasing some Polygon, folks, under 35 cents. And the all-time high being $3, I think. Yep, all-time high is $3. So we are in a really good position to take home, you know, what is this? This is a 600, 700% growth that you can expect to see just going back to the all-time high, which I believe is going to be a staging area for the future of gaming. Polygon is definitely leading the way in that. ADA had a little bit of a pullback again yesterday after hitting this. You know, this is actually a really interesting price pattern. I'm going to zoom into the 4-hour chart so that we can see this in a greater detail. So with this here, we can see that we're following this channel right now. So with this channel being followed, it would be advantageous to buy right now and then just ride it to the next level. So I've got a bunch of things in my quick exchanges that are just sitting there in Canadian dollars, you know, 50 to 100 bucks or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and turn that into Cardano. And then now in that little, and that's just my little spending account that I like to quickly trade back and forth with. That's not my big trust. My big trust stays pretty put. This here is this here is just a nice little quick exchange that, you know, probably in the next 2-3 days, probably within the next 2-3 days, we'll see this retrace back up, coming back up to this point here. Well, that right there, if I can get away from having the click, there we go. That right there is a quick 9-10%. Yeah, I don't mind that. So nice little trend in here at the bottom end of this channel. You can ride it back to the top. We can expect resistance on this long-term trend line. And even for us to know that we're working our way up, we need to break above that trend line, find support, and then continue on. Ethereum. Ethereum was down yesterday, almost tested that bottom trend line, and now has been rallying since. I think that we're still going to see some more time of this back and forth. You know, this is a nice little test, definitely a higher high than the previous one on September 27th. So this is encouraging. As long as this low here doesn't get down too far, you know, if this just tests the lower line and works its way back up, that'll be great for those people who are long. I'm also in some Ethereum here and there, back and forth with my ShakePay account, and so I'll flip back and forth on those ones as well. Right now would be a good time to switch the Canadian for some Ethereum and just, you know, let it go up in a few bucks here and there. Every little bit helps, and it's just good practice. You know, people are like, oh, you do all that and you only got like $2 or $3 out of that trade. No, I didn't do that. You know, on $50, $3 is more than 5%. Like it's like 8 or something like that. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't have as much of a retracement as Ethereum did coming back into its trend. We can see that it's very, very small miniature trend right now. The longer time frame is definitely showing the resistance along that trend line. We're right now sitting at 67,000 US. What is that in Canadian anyways? 93,000. Yeah. So Bitcoin showing some strength here with this new high that is broken out of that trend line. I would say that we would look for a retest of the 63 level, simply because I didn't feel like we got enough support off of that. And we came from 59,000 into this breakout. So I would expect one more retest of the 63,000 level before we get that leg up over top. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen now? ADA Ethereum, that little dip that we had there a couple days ago, showing some, showed some support off of that level, but it's retraced again. And this again, folks, like look at this line. It's provided a lot of resistance in the past, and so it makes sense that we would have a quick dip down here, especially with the Ethereum price how it went up for a while. And of course, now Ethereum starting to pull back, and it's a good time to buy some Ethereum. We saw that price go up against Cardano. You know, so it is what it is. This one here, I'm watching simply because I'm looking at more and more assets from the perspective of where my wealth is held in the private foreign trust. And so that being denominated in Cardano, I like to check on some of these assets in comparison to that asset. And yeah, look at that. We got done at 7:51. It's amazing what happens when you start on time. You actually finish on time. Questions, comments, queries, anybody? Oh, let's go check out the comments here. Anybody has any questions or any assets they would like me to analyze? Let's go back, and while we're here, let's just go back and see what the US 30 is doing first thing in the morning here. Yeah, not much, just a dip down. Looks like it's going to retest this line here, but I mean the orders are already in, so the volatility of the morning is already gone. Yeah. Another asset that I haven't brought up on here is the Nasdaq. Let's grab, which feed do I want here? Yeah, this one's good. This is the Nasdaq index. Actually has a similar pattern to the Japanese index. If I bring that up close by here. Oh, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. Never mind. Yeah, so we have that dip there. Let's go back to the Nasdaq. Yep, look at that. That dip that the Nasdaq had, basically the same time that the Japanese markets had its dip, and then the building back, Nasdaq has not been able to beat that high, similar to the Nikkei. Dow Jones, S&P 500, they look a little different, forming new highs all the time. But yeah, I wanted to bring up the Nasdaq as one of the options to check out. It's another pulse. It's another barometer meter on the markets. Yeah, there we go. That concludes the market analysis for October 24th. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for checking in. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And my mouse is lost. Where's my mouse? There it is.